You have been told again and again to seek the treasure beyond the horizon. Your birthright, they said, waits in the glittering world, there where others look back at you and measure your worth, where the sun of accomplishment shines on distant peaks, and the great voices of history echo through palaces you may never enter. So you learn to reach, to hunger, to stretch your gaze beyond the glass, to fill your hands with things that when night comes, dissolve quietly into longing. You were taught to believe that power belongs to the world, the approval of the crowd, the promise of tomorrow, the story written by someone else. But listen now to the breath between your thoughts. Listen not with the ears of striving, but with the stillness beneath the waves. For Thoth, ancient scribe of the gods, guardian of the Hermetic mysteries, whispers to all who are willing everything begins within. Let these words be a gentle disrobing of the mind's old clothing. The world you see is not merely out there separate, immutable a stage upon which you wander as a player hoping for applause. No. The Kybalion, the secret teaching drawn from emerald tablets written in the memory of the stars, reminds us that the all is mind. The universe is mental. What does this mean? Not only that reality is thought, but that thought is reality, and you, the observer, are both the artist and the canvas, the source and the seeing. In this subtle shift, the first veil dissolves. Have you ever watched a child at play? She kneels on the ground, a handful of sand becoming mountains, rivers, cities. Her laughter is a wind that animates worlds, her tears a flood that sweeps kingdoms away. In her, there is no separation between the vision and the world. The boundary between inner and outer is as thin as silk. Later, as we grow, we are taught to harden the walls, to make the inner silent and the outer sovereign. But if you pause even now, in the space between heartbeats, you may feel that hidden alchemy. The world changes as you look at it. Your thoughts color the fabric of experience like dye in water. Let us rest here at the threshold of awakening and wonder. What if every moment is a mirror? What if, as quantum sages hint, your observation is not just passive, but participatory, the very act of witnessing weaving reality around you? As above, so below. As within, so without. Not a distant promise, but a living instruction. If you have felt restless, powerless, if the weight of circumstance has pressed upon you like a heavy stone, know this: you are not a spectator, but a source. The power you seek is not hidden in the future, but quietly pulsing right now within the temple of your own awareness. The first alchemy is remembrance, to recall that you are not merely in the world, but the world is in you. That every thought, every feeling, every subtle intention shapes the lattice of your days. Try now a simple experiment. Before sleep, let your final thought be one of gratitude, even if only for the breath in your lungs. Upon waking, offer a silent blessing to the coming day. Watch as the air around you grows lighter, the faces you meet, softening the path itself, seeming to open like a flower. Do not seek outward for your power. Turn gently inward. There in the unlit cavern of your being is a sun that never sets, waiting for your eyes to open. The journey begins, not at the edge of the world, but at the threshold of attention. Remember the words, the all is mind. And so in the silent space where mind meets mystery, the doors to awakening swing open. Beneath the surface of daily life, subtle currents ripple through your experience, shaping what you call the ordinary and the miraculous alike. Perhaps you have felt this hidden architecture, a synchronicity that brushes past your shoulder in the form of a familiar song. At just the right moment, a whisper of intuition steering you away from harm, the unspoken resonance between strangers whose eyes meet across a crowded room. These are not mere coincidences, says the wisdom of the Kybalion. They are echoes of a profound harmony, the law of correspondence in motion. As above, so below. As below, so above. This simple phrase, etched in Hermetic memory, offers a map to the unseen realms of your own being. The secret patterns that structure reality are not locked away in distant galaxies or ancient temples. They are alive, within you humming through your thoughts, emotions, and choices. The Hermetic initiate comes to see life as a hall of mirrors, each outer circumstance reflecting the tides of the inner world, and each shift of awareness sending ripples out into the fabric of the cosmos. Imagine for a moment that your consciousness is a pond. The surface may seem calm or stormy, but every stone dropped, every breath of wind sends patterns spreading outward, touching unseen shores. A loving thought, a sincere prayer, a moment of forgiveness. These are stones cast not only into your mind, but into the world you inhabit. The energy you carry radiates subtly, but inexorably, into the larger field of experience. Quantum mystics speak of entanglement, the mysterious dance of particles linked across time and space. And so too does your heart find its counterpart in the hearts of others. Let us make this more tangible. Recall a day when you woke heavy with worry or regret. The hours unfolded with resistance. Traffic stalled conversations, soured, the sky itself seemed to press down upon you. Yet, on another morning, perhaps after a night of gentle dreams or a single moment of laughter, you found the world blossoming, doors opening, smiles returning your own, the simplest act infused with grace. The outer changed because the inner changed. The law of correspondence is not a superstition, but an invitation. As you arrange the temple of your thoughts, so too do you arrange the temple of your days. The world is not out there waiting to be conquered or appeased. It is here, always reflecting. This does not mean that you control every event. Storms will still come. Seasons will still turn. But the alchemist learns to adjust the inner barometer, to find alignment in the core of being. When your intention is clear, your presence true, the outer begins to echo the song of the inner. What you seek is seeking you, wrote the mystics. And this is not poetry, but physics. If you desire peace, begin with a single breath of acceptance, allowing your chest to soften, your thoughts to settle. If you seek abundance, practice the art of giving, however small, a kind word, a coin a minute of undivided attention. Watch how the world returns what you offer, sometimes in unexpected ways. The universe is a living web. Every strand you touch sends vibrations through the whole. This is a true power of correspondence, not control, but communion. Tonight, as you close your eyes, ask yourself, what do I most wish to see in the world? Let that vision take root in your heart. Water it with belief, shine upon it with attention. Notice how even the smallest shift within you calls forth new reflections without. You are not a victim of circumstance, but a participant in the great harmony. Remember, as within, so without. The secret patterns you honor within yourself become the music of your life. Awaken now to this subtle interplay and watch as the ordinary world shimmers with the light of hidden meaning. When the storms of emotion rise, when shadows stretch across the corridors of your mind, you may wonder if you are powerless before the tides. Fear, anger, sadness. These guests arrive with heavy footsteps, unbidden and often unwelcome. Yet the Kybalion teaches another way. It speaks of the law of polarity, that everything is dual. Everything contains its opposite. And where there is darkness, light is present, also awaiting only your awareness to reveal it. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites, whispers the Hermetic voice. The wisdom of spiritual alchemy is this: what you resist persists, but what you embrace, you can transform. Life is not a prison of circumstance, but a field of energies forever moving between poles, joy and sorrow, confidence and doubt, love and fear. Each is not an enemy, but a teacher, a signpost pointing to the possibility of transmutation. Consider a moment from your life when a strong emotion overtook you. Perhaps anger at a betrayal, grief at a loss, or fear of an uncertain future. The instinct is often to push these feelings away, to wall them off with distraction or denial. But have you noticed that the harder you struggle, the tighter their grip becomes? Like a river dammed, the force only grows beneath the surface until it bursts forth in unexpected ways. But now, let us approach as the alchemist does. When darkness enters, do not flee. Instead, Welcome it as you would a messenger from the deep. Sit with your sorrow, your fear, your anger, not as enemies, but as energies, as poles on the spectrum of being. If you can find the courage to simply observe, to breathe into the feeling, without judgment, you begin to witness the alchemy in action. You notice that sadness and joy are not two, but one current moving back and forth. That fear, when honored, reveals the hidden desire for love and safety. That anger transmuted becomes strength and clear direction. Quantum wisdom tells us that observation itself changes what is observed. In the same way, when you bring mindful attention to an emotion, you shift its frequency. You do not need to force yourself to think positive or pretend to be happy. Instead, you can gently raise your awareness up the scale from fear to acceptance, from grief to gratitude, from anger to purposeful action. This is the art of emotional alchemy. Try this the next time a heavy feeling visits pause. Place a hand over your heart. Breathe deeply and simply name what you feel. This is sadness. This is fear. Allow the energy to be present without trying to change it. Then ask yourself, what is the opposite pole of this feeling? How might I gently move even 1 degree toward it? Perhaps it is recalling a memory of safety in the midst of fear, or finding a small thing to appreciate when sadness looms. Notice how the feeling begins to soften, to shift, to lighten. This is not denial, but transmutation, the Hermetic art in living form. Every day is a laboratory, every mood a chance to practice. You do not have to be perfect, nor need you chase bliss. The law of polarity reminds us that all things are in motion, and that by accepting this dance, you become the alchemist of your own experience. What once seemed like an obstacle becomes the philosopher's stone, turning lead into gold, sorrow into wisdom, pain into compassion. Remember, you are not your emotions, but the witness, the artist, the one who shapes. The universe, too, moves in waves and frequencies rising and falling between poles. By aligning with this law, by honoring both shadow and light, you step into your true inheritance, the power to transform. So let each feeling be a doorway, each challenge an invitation. The world will offer both night and day, but you are the dawn that bridges them. The alchemy is yours to practice, and in practicing, you become free. There is a rhythm to all things, a silent pulse that carries you through the spiral of days and the unfolding of your years. The ancients knew this music well, and so too does the Hermetic teaching call you to attune yourself to its wisdom. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. This is the law of rhythm, the gentle heartbeat of the universe. No wave is static, no season eternal. In the fullness of becoming, all is flux, all is dance. Perhaps you have noticed this rhythm in your own life. Some mornings you awaken with purpose, energy coursing through your veins, inspiration like sunlight pouring through every thought. Other times fatigue weighs heavy, motivation slips away, and the world seems wrapped in fog. Relationships too move in cycles, intimacy blooming, then retreating, old wounds rising to the surface, only to be healed and softened again. Even your mind is subject to these tides, periods of clarity and confusion, of peace and restlessness, ebbing and flowing as if in accordance with some hidden lunar law. The mistake is to believe you are meant to hold on to one state forever. In the modern world, the pressure is immense to be endlessly productive, constantly joyful, immune to the natural pull of rest and renewal. But the law of rhythm invites another path, the way of presence and trust. Just as the ocean yields to the moon, just as winter gives way to spring, so too are you meant to honor the waves within your own being. Imagine a great pendulum swinging to and fro. The higher it rises on one side, the farther it must swing to the other. This is not punishment, but balanced nature's quiet assurance that every peak finds its valley, every exhale its inhale. When you resist the low tides, when you cling desperately to the highs, you only exhaust yourself, missing the beauty in the changing light. But when you ride the rhythm, When you surrender to the flow, you discover a new kind of mastery, the power of graceful presence. Consider the artist who waits for inspiration, knowing it cannot be forced. She trusts the fallow times, tending her spirit with patience, for she knows the tide will return and bring with it a flood of color and creation. Or think of the gardener who honors the seasons, allowing the soil to rest, planting when the time is ripe, reaping when the harvest comes. Life, too, is a garden of cycles, growth and decay, action and reflection, speaking and silence. The wise alchemist learns to move with the current rather than against it. In your own life, you may practice this art by listening deeply to your body, your mind, your heart. When you feel the pull to rest, allow it, even if only for a few moments. Turn off the screens. Close your eyes. Breathe with the earth. When you feel the surge of energy, use it consciously. Create, connect. Move with intention. Trust that each phase is sacred, each shift meaningful. You are not a machine to be optimized, but a wave to be surfed, a song to be sung in time with the cosmos. Try this at the end of each day. Reflect for a moment on the tides that moved through you. What rose, what fell, what asked for your attention. Can you bless both the crest and the trough, finding gratitude for the full spectrum of experience? Over time, you may notice the anxiety of resistance softening, replaced by a quiet confidence, the knowing that you can meet whatever arises, neither grasping nor fleeing, but dancing. The law of rhythm does not ask you to be unmoved, but to become the skilled surfer, the dancer, the one who feels the music and moves in harmony. This is the secret of peace amidst change, of creativity amidst uncertainty. The universe itself breathes in cycles, expansion and contraction, birth and dissolution, day and night. By embracing this rhythm, you come home to the natural order of things. You are not lost, nor behind, nor out of step. You are exactly where you are meant to be, carried by the great tide of becoming. Let yourself rise and fall, flow and rest, trusting the rhythm. In this dance, you awaken to your own wisdom, and the world moves with you. There is a moment, subtle yet unmistakable, when you begin to see the threads weaving all things together, when the tapestry of your days, once tangled and arbitrary, begins to reveal a hidden order. The Hermetic Law of cause and effect stands quietly at the heart of this revelation, whispering, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. In this law, the seeker steps across the final threshold, from wanderer adrift in circumstance to conscious participant in the creation of reality. The world is not a random storm, nor are you a leaf tossed helplessly upon its winds. Though it may appear that life happens to you, beneath that appearance is a web of causality, intricate and precise. Every thought is a seed, every word a note in the great symphony, every action a brush stroke, painting tomorrow's canvas. The universe at its core is responsive, a living mirror echoing back the frequencies you emit. To awaken to this is to reclaim your sovereignty. Yet this is no call to guilt or perfection. The world is complex, and causes and effects span dimensions and lifetimes. You are not responsible for the entire play, but you are the master of your own instrument. The wise alchemist learns to wield this power with humility and courage, planting seeds of intention, tending the soil of the mind, and watching as new possibilities unfold. Let us bring this to earth. Think of a time when you set a clear intention, perhaps a heartfelt wish for healing, a decision to change an old habit, or a silent prayer for guidance. Notice how over days or weeks, subtle shifts began to occur, the right book appearing, a chance encounter, a surge of inspiration. It may have seemed like luck, but behind the curtain, your inner state was aligning you with new currents of possibility. Likewise, when your focus lingered on old grievances or anxieties, the world seemed to echo back. Frustration and stagnation, each experience reinforcing the last. The law of cause and effect is relentless, yet it is also a door to creative freedom. Quantum insight affirms this hermetic truth. The observer shapes the field. Intention bends reality toward itself. You do not need to move mountains or predict every consequence. The master's touch is subtle, gentle, persistent. Each morning, you might begin with a question. What seeds am I planting today? With each encounter, ask, what frequency am I radiating into this moment? The shift is not always immediate, nor is it always obvious, but over time, the garden of your life transforms one conscious cause at a time. There is, of course, a mystery. The universe is larger than anyone will, and sometimes storms come regardless of our planting. In these moments, the Hermetic initiate remembers, I may not choose every effect, but I can always choose my response. I can transform reaction into creation fear, into inquiry resistance, into trust. This is the art of spiritual sovereignty, not to control every outcome, but to become a conscious co-creator, awake and present, shaping reality through presence and choice. In practical terms, this might mean beginning and ending each day with intention, holding yourself gently accountable for the energy you bring. It might mean pausing before you speak, feeling the ripple that your words will carry. It might mean forgiving yourself and others, breaking cycles of reaction and planting new seeds of kindness and possibility. The law of cause and effect is not an abstract dictum, but a living practice renewed with every breath. If you have ever doubted your power, look now upon the chain of causes stretching behind you and the field of possibility opening ahead. You are not bound to the past nor fated to repeat what has been. With awareness, you may choose again and again and again. The sovereign alchemist is not the one who controls all, but the one who creates consciously, dancing with the mystery, delighting in the infinite unfolding. Stand now at the center of your life, hands open, heart awake. Remember, every cause ripples outward. Every effect calls you to deeper wisdom. The law is love in motion, the cosmos alive with purpose. You are the artist, and the brush the note, and the song, the cause, and the effect. Awake and create. The journey you have taken tonight is not a line with an end, but a circle, an ancient return to the center of yourself. The Hermetic wisdom of the Kybalion does not belong only to the dusty scrolls of the past, nor to secret initiates behind locked doors. It is a living invitation, gently woven through the fabric of your experience, whispering each moment. Remember. Remember the mind behind all things, the mirror of correspondence, the alchemy of polarity, the dance of rhythm, and the gentle mastery of cause and effect. In remembering, you reclaim the birthright so often forgotten, the quiet, luminous power to awaken, to create, to become. Pause now and listen, not only with your ears, but with the whole field of your being. Notice how your thoughts shape the color of this moment, how the echo of your intention ripples through the web of your days. You are not small, nor helpless, nor alone. The same current that spins the stars, moves through your breath, animates your choices, and awaits your conscious direction. What dream will you nurture? What old chain will you gently release? The world you seek is woven from the frequencies you allow within. Perhaps as you close your eyes, a single question lingers. What might awaken in me if I truly remembered who I am? Let that question open you softly, like a flower to the dawn. Trust in the slow alchemy of your intention. Know that the Kybalion's wisdom lives wherever you choose to honor your own sovereignty, wherever you meet the world with wonder and presence, wherever you dare to live as both the dreamer and the dreamed. If these words have touched you, if something ancient has stirred within your heart, you are invited to continue the conversation within yourself, with others, and with the greater mystery. Share what you discover. Return when you need guidance or comfort. Subscribe to the quiet unfolding of your own awakening, and let your days be lit from within by the Hermetic flame. You are the alchemist. The power is within. Awaken and create.